Money makes the world go round. Now, this is a statement we've all heard before, but does it really? Today we discuss all the areas of life where money does play an important role. And Mariam, we're talking a lot now about overall wealth, as the holistic approach. Tell us about how wealth affects every area of your life.
I think what we need to do at the start is define what wealth is.
Okay.
To me, anyway, it might be a different definition for
And
everyone.
it is, right? It's always a different definition for everybody.
Wealth to me is me being alive, me being surrounded by wonderful friends, wonderful family, having great opportunities. But at the same time, if we define wealth equals to money, that might kind of throws us off a little bit, which I've struggled with my life on and off with that.
And we've all done that. I mean, that's what we're
Yes.
taught from the start. Wealth is money. And what we're exploring now, actually, wealth isn't just money.
It's true, it's true. As you get older, you get wiser, and then you have different experiences in life. Yes, it is the Wheel of Fortune, is it called?
Yeah, I mean, it is, we talk about, Wheel of Fortune is a great
To
word
have that
for
balance in your life. The first time the Wheel of Fortune was given to me, and then you sit and you scribble to see where you're focusing on in your life. So you have your family, you have your business, you have your health, your dreams.
There's friendships, relationships.
All that stuff, yes. And it was just a shocker. I was honestly amazed to see how it was so off balance the first time I did it. And then, and even at the Tony Robbins show that I went to, and then he says, well, imagine yourself, you're driving a car. Would you want those wheels, at the foundation base of your car? And this is what happens in life as well. If we don't have balance, but we somehow attach everything to money, and everything, if money equals wealth, and if we don't have money, then that means we're not wealthy, and that whole wheel collapses.
And the wheel of life you mentioned, so just for our viewers, let's just explain a little bit about what is that representing. So you mentioned you marked on there. So just explain a little bit about that.
So you can visualize a pizza divided into 10 areas or 8 areas of your life, and then you would shade a certain aspect, certain part. It depends. So from the core is a 0, and it goes up to 10 to the end of the wheel, and then you just have to measure from 0 to 10 or 1 to 10. How involved or how active are you in those aspects? So I went to friendship, and then I circled 0. Then I went to health, and it was 0. And then it was business, and then I'm like 8. And then family, back to 2. Like, oh my God, so what I'm focusing on is a lot of work, and I'm not balancing my life.
And how does that bring it into sort of our everyday finances? Because one of the things that you said to me was what you also discovered in that process was how the way you deal with your finances, how it actually impacts those scores on each and every single area.
Well, fortunately and unfortunately for me, at the beginning, I put too much value on money. And then I attached the things and aspects that were happening in my life. If I had money, then I could get whatever it is that I want, which was happiness or whatever else. And if I didn't have it, so I attached way too much emphasis and value on that. And then if I didn't have money, then suddenly I found myself detaching from the rest of my life. But it really, what it is just focusing on what you really want in life, and really having gratitude and holding on to exactly what you're blessed with, and just have balance in your life. You so do your 8-hour shift, go home and enjoy your time with your family. So I kept thinking that I need to meet this deadline, this budget, this many kids, and focusing so much on the dollar value or the end result, which was just a number. And I refused to get help. I just thought I just knew what I was doing because I was just going by the book. Until I met you, thank God. Honestly, a lot of people, when they feel like they need help, they go to a doctor. I needed educational more stimulation in my life. I went and got my MBA, but I never thought of reaching out to a wealth planner to help me balance and work out things that I just couldn't figure out.
And you made a really important point about the balance side, because it is that. It's not, so we say, money is not something we want to talk about, and when we focus too much on money. And there is that, because there's those effects. Have you had a time in your life where you kind of removed yourself from even looking at money? And then what was the impact of that?
And it's, incredible wealth, amazing results. When I detached myself from that, and then I was only focusing on the end result, or what it is that I was really trying to achieve, my vision, my mission, my children, my health. When I started to work out again, how great I felt in the morning to start my day differently. When I really started to even look at myself instead of just neglecting myself completely. When I detached myself from money itself, the paper part of it.
Yeah. So this is what's important, right? Because you're talking about the paper part. It's not, let's remove money from our life, because it's what we have to pay for things for. I always say to everybody I meet that money has one power, and it gives you the power to say yes. So what you're saying here, it's not so. It's focusing on what you're saying yes to.
And what do you do with that yes? So even if you are blessed, so a lot of people say, well, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It's great that the rich get richer, but the thing is just what do you do with that money? So if God has blessed you with certain opportunities, then you're the chosen one to do something with that. There's nothing wrong with driving your dream car or having a villa on the Palm, but at the same time, you need to take a certain amount of that profit and make sure you give back to humanity. Sounds like a commercial, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
I can't wait to make a certain amount of money to go back and do something for the Iraqi children. So it's what you do with it, and it's amazing. I've traveled all around in third world countries, and the ones that I felt that were money-wise poorer than me were happier than me. Their smile, their glow in their eyes.
And I think in today's world, that's really one of the, I'd say, mistakes that we make, or learnings, is that we focus so much on that. And what we're learning here is, it's not about removing money from our life, but it's about redefining what it is that it's going to go. And give us another example. Tell us how, we're talking about areas of business, we talked about areas of health, areas of contribution. What about in relationships? What do you think having money and not having money impacts on your relationship?
It has a lot of impact. So I've had a lot of my friends when I was younger, I want to marry a rich husband, or I want to have this job because I could get this much money, or I'm quitting this job because the other job is offering me a lot more money. I'm like, what do you want to do in your life? What is it that makes you happy? What does make your heart just beat faster, or make you look forward to getting up in the morning? Just focus on that and the rest will come. So even with my staff, I sit there and I'm like, what is it that you want? Or if somebody resigns, I'm like, that's great, and they get thrown off by it, Are you going to another job that's gonna just have that glow in your eyes, and a lot of it is people are driven, they work for money, and you shouldn't work for money. You should just have money work for you somehow, so money makes and breaks relationships. We use money for appreciation, to buy gifts for the loved ones, or at the same time you give appraisals to your staff and give them salary increases. So there is a lot of pluses and minuses. It's just,
and I think we forget those pluses. We forget that, and I think when you look at what society tells us about money, the rich get richer, and you get more aggressive, and envy and wealth is bad, and so on and so forth. I think we forget that money's there also to gift loved ones, and all of these things. And there's that, we always sort of talk about money's not important until you've got none. It's like oxygen.
It's true.
Yes.
But it is important. It does make the world go around. Many might not, agree with me, but it's what you do with it. that is the question. And or actually, it's what would you do if you don't have any money? You know, the big test is if God takes that away from you, how strong are you? How much would you still give if you have $10 and you need to just give, you know, half of it to someone else? Would you do that? So it's just really a challenge, but we need to really understand of how to use it and how to not have it allow it to control our lives. But there's nothing wrong with wanting it at the same time.
How do you, let's bring it to like the children that we're bringing up, and how does the subject of wealth impact on like your parenting, for example?
I actually really have them understand the value of money. I don't just give them money just like that. I did that at the beginning, and it was always just take. Mama, go put that credit card in the machine and let it just give you money. I'm like, okay, but how does, you know, where does that come from? And so I had to really take them to a bank, open a bank account, have them understand that, give them cash. I don't just go and charge in a credit card because they don't see the value. So we do the whole math thing. And you know, if it's 100 dirhams, this is how much it's going to buy you. And
I remember when we did the garage sale.
Oh my God.
So Aya's garage sale. That was so much fun. And what I actually liked about, you know, the way that you kind of positioned that was that, you know, they took their own takings. And I remember Yusuf was having his paper, his itinerary of
checklist.
Like, of what he was selling and so on. And then I remember the little argument they had about he'd given away something for half the value or something.
It's true.
Like that.
It was incredible that day because she made, I think, 196 dirhams or something.
Yeah.
That lasted in her wallet for so long.
Wow.
I'm like, it's funny how if that was the money that I gave you, it would have been gone in one day. But suddenly she really saw it. And then she's like, Mama, all these things that we sold, this is only how much I got of it. And she's thank God at an age where she understands percentage, you know. So no, at a regular value, retail value, I've paid this much money for it, but value is gone. So it's really great to really involve your children when you go grocery shopping, you know.
And I love that. It's just making me smile. I'm just remembering, like, you're right, because if you had given her that money,
yes, it's
just
true.
like that, right?
It's true.
And so how long did it last her?
It lasted her for at least 3 months.
Wow.
It really, honestly. And then even the whole everyday, can I have 5 dirhams? Can I have 10 dirhams for lunch? Where's your lunch that we're making for you? No, I want to go to the canteen. So, and then now it stopped. After the garage sale, I'm like, well, use your own money. She stopped it. Okay, you can make me lunch. She knows that she was saving all that money. And if you have them choose one item instead of so many items, so you need to say no to your children, but you can't just say no. You have to really explain to them why.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, schools don't teach children of how to value or use money. They use them in examples at their early ages only for math purpose.
Yeah.
So I love Kidzania. You know, they have small little. It really teaches you the true value of the world and what it's like. So.
And it's great that you bring it into parenting. And I think, you know, again, nowadays, or certainly when I grew up, I think it actually, it's not just nowadays, it's come from the past, where money is a subject we don't talk about, you know, don't talk about money. It's rude. It was even deemed as, it's rude even, you know, to talk about money.
It doesn't fall from trees or whatever it is.
And it's always made so hard.
Yes.
And what I'm enjoying about, you know, the work that we're doing together is really letting our viewers know that it should just be a regular conversation in your household, because these are some of the very positive impacts even on your children.
No, it's true. They really do value it. And I explain to them, look how many hours I work a day, and this is how much I've gotten for this much amount of groceries. I'm throwing it in their faces. So some of my cousins are like, well, you know, what are you doing? It's too much. They're too young. But they're never too young. They're honestly, if you involve them in your life and you involve them in the paying aspect, they will understand how we acquire items and how we spend the cash on it and what value it brings to our lives and how much importance we you know, put into it.
Wow.
So
great.
Yes.
Great. So it's not only just impacting our personal wallets, it's also impacting the next generation.
No, definitely. So I really think a lot more people should go into schools and speak and have children really understand.
Great. Thank you so much, Mariam. That was really interesting. Let's move now to the viewer's question for the week.
My name is Khalid Musli, and I want to ask a question. Which area is the most important?
So we talked about the different areas within the wheel of life and which one becomes the most important. And I think really it comes to relationships. So we talked earlier about the relationship that you have with money, the relationship that you have with other people. So this is the area that becomes most important when you're focusing on how to spend that money. So it becomes about the values you place on yourself to the people that you're spending time with. And that's what life is about, right? It's not, it's about who we're sharing that life with. So when you're looking at your wheel of life, look at the areas of how you're spending in relation to connecting with other people and the relationships you have. So let's move to giving you the project for the week. And the project for the week is the Wheel of Life. Do your own Wheel of Life, or what we call a Wheel of Fortune. Download your copy from the link below. Take each area and mark yourself from 0 to 10. 0 being you as unhappy as you can be in that area, and 10 being it cannot be any better. If 0 is the center of the circle and 10 is the outer ring, then draw a line in each segment of where you think you are. Then shade in the Wheel of Life. Notice the areas you want to improve. Pick 2 or 3 of these areas, and for each one, write down your ultimate goal, and then write down 3 small, and I mean small, steps that you could take to move forward into it. Over the next few weeks and months, do this with every area of your life and start shaping the life that you actually want to live. Thank you again for watching. Do let us know how the project for the week went for you. Don't forget to put your comments in on the section below, and we really look forward to seeing you again at another episode of UAE Money Talk.